November 14, 2011. We're looking at Google Earth, and this area that here is called the Cayman Trench. It's a very deep trench on Earth. I want to back it out just a little. It comes around and connects here to the Atlantic Ridge. Your Canary Islands are here. Now we know that the Canary Islands are active, and everybody's watching El Hierro and watching La Palma there. We've got live webcams on our website that show that with two from the fishing village of La Restinga. Now, my concern here is because of this Atlantic Ridge fault. And if you zoom this up, you can see millions of years of cracks and shifts. Now we're at reaching a solar maximum. We've got what's called a grand filament now on the sun. It's wrapped halfway around the sun, and reports are coming in that one of the ends of the filament may be releasing from the sun. It's 11:04 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Now, as the Earth heats up, these cracks are going to become under more and more stress. And we're getting a cluster in the Cayman Trench, and even though La Palma could be deadly in the as far as your tsunamis, nothing would compare to just a few feet shift in this plate. A drop of rise on either side, you would be affected on the East Coast, Africa, Europe, the entire area. Now I want to come back to this Cayman Trench. We're getting a cluster right here. Tremendous amount of quakes. None of them are that large. You're looking in your 3s, 3.5s, but the cluster is the main thing. And what that's doing is showing we've got stress that comes all the way in. You've got a major change in this fault right here, south of Georgetown. So this area could be under pressure. That goes all the way through, connects to the Ring of Fire. So it's like a mid-Earth stress point as we're heating up. Now, we've got friends down in this area here, and we had this a few days ago on November 12th, this 5.0. This is just west of Trinidad Tobago, right there. Now, we don't get a lot of news from this part of the world. We've got some YouTube people that come in and comment on our channel, are friends of ours. Now, what I have noticed in the news there is that they're having a lot of, they've had a lot of rain, a lot of crop damage, and a lot of landslides. One of their main mountain roads there is in peril of sliding down the side of the mountain, and that's going to cut off a lot of people. You would have to go for miles around in that area. There's been a lot of other trouble in that part of the country, but they have a phenomenon called mud volcanoes there. It's real unusual, but it kind of looks like some of the stuff in Yellowstone, but it is thermal activity. So you guys down there keep an eye on that. Now this is from the Trinidad Express newspaper, and just to show you, they've had this going on for over a month, and throughout the summer they've been in trouble. This is one of the main roads over the mountains there, and you can see where the crack is, and it's starting to slide. So when you start getting those clusters that you see all through that island chain there, then the central part of the Earth is being affected. So we don't get much news out of this area, but things are going on there. Now these are latest images from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. This is the grand filament we've been watching, and it seems to be reaching further in this direction. Also notice the concentration of the banding, how deep it is. And this end seems to become less stable as it goes through. Now that could indicate two things. One, a collapse, or one, a release of this end of this filament. Either one would be something to watch. You could have, if it collapses, what's called a Hydra Flare, and we've talked about it in the last few videos, that these are long, sustained flares. They're not fast bursts. They will emit for hours, and so that just increases the amount of radiation and heat that's coming from the sun, and we're talking about this on our volcanoes and earthquakes. So keep an eye on this. I want to show you one other thing. Now this is a 24-hour JPEG from the SDO, and this is the filament. It's going to release there. You're going to see some other activity here, but it releases and it collapses in the last few frames, and that's what can cause what's called a Hydra Flare, and those are the long sustained ones. Play this. You'll see the collapse there. One other thing I want to show you. Now, right here in your bottom corner, you have what's called a solar prominence. And unlike these flares that are strong, this has been continuously burning and growing larger. Get this thing to play through. That's huge right there. That's very unusual, too. It's the largest that many astronomers and people that have watched the sun say they've ever seen. So the solar maximum has given us a lot of things we haven't seen before. So that's going to heat up the Earth. That's going to put strain on our grids. It's something we got to watch. Now this is Earthquake 3D. This is the Cayman Trench. This is what we're looking at, guys. The latest you got in your 4 points here now. That's a tremendous cluster. We're just back 2.5 days. Tilt that and turn it. That's my concern on the Cayman Trench connected to the Atlantic Ridge. Watch this area. Now these are the latest composite images from stereo. And when you see the lines like this, this is where the different images have been put together. 0 longitude here is Earth facing. This is the grand filament we've been watching. This is back side of the sun coming around. And it looks like we have a rising filament there. We won't know until we get a better observation of it, but that's what it looks like. So we definitely got to keep an eye on not just the filament that's Earth facing now, but also what's coming around there. That's an update. I appreciate it, you guys. Have a good day.